Hey everybody, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. It's Lauren here, and we're back for phase 2 of our fire pit build. As you saw last week, we got the base of our fire pit area done. We made the actual fire pit, we laid the mulch, we surrounded it with wood planks, so we're ready to make it pretty. So Neiman and I headed to Lowe's and Home Depot to get all of our supplies, and the first thing that we need to do before we unload the truck is we need to make the areas that we are going to be placing the planters more level so that they don't rock back and forth. While we were digging out the actual area where our mulch went, we wanted to dig down just a little bit to make it all level. Well, we then accumulated a bunch of piles of dirt around the outside. So we are going to be utilizing this dirt a little bit in the bottoms of our planters, but also we need to move it out of our way so that, again, this ground is level. So that's what we're going to be doing now. All right, we got everywhere leveled out, and obviously once we put the barrels down, we will level it out even more, make sure it's not wobbly like I said. So we're gonna go ahead and unload and put these barrels down so that we can go ahead and get started making this pretty. We actually got these Jack Daniel's bins. Well, they're actually half barrels, and we got them at Lowe's. They were about 40 bucks a piece, so we're in at $240 just with the barrels. We decided to go a little bit of nicer equipment for this because one, they're gonna last a really long time, and two, they just look really nice, and I think that the size of them was the biggest we could find, and it just fits with the size of our patio area. We didn't want really small baskets or planters. And then also the last reason we chose these is because we're gonna be putting a post in the middle of these, and we needed it to be able to be big enough so that when we put all of the things in there to hold it up, that it'll hold that pole straight up and down.
Another thing too that I don't want to forget to mention is that there's more options other than the Jack Daniel barrels. So these were a bit on the pricier side, like she said, but there were definitely alternatives that were, I think, particle board or whatever, cheaper made.
And a little bit smaller.
And a little bit smaller, but not as well made. So there are options out there. So in the case that you don't want to spend $260 on barrels, just know there are cheaper options.
Yep. Now we're gonna head over to the back of the truck yet again, and we are going to show you guys the posts and how we plan to connect them to the bottom of these barrels. So we ended up getting the same type of posts that we laid around the outside just because we wanted it to have that same look. So we got 8-foot posts, that way they're tall enough so that when we string lights across that nobody will bump into them. So over here, what we're gonna do first is we are going to be attaching some brackets, and these are going to just really help hold up that post. We're gonna put 2 corner brackets that go on the edges of the 4x4 by 8-inch posts. So when we're attaching this corner bracket here, I'm gonna make sure that it's flush against the bottom. That way, when I go ahead and screw it into the bottom of the barrel, that it's not going to be uneven like that, but it's really going to be able to stabilize it down here. So there's 2 holes on each side, so that's 4 screws that's gonna go into the post. So Neiman's gonna drill the holes. There's 4 of them, like I said, and then I'm going to drill in the screws. So we're just using these 1.5-inch wood screws because we didn't need them to be super long, but they will go a pretty good amount of the way into each post. So now we're gonna flip it and we're going to put another bracket onto the other corner. Okay, now that we've got all of these corner brackets screwed into the bottoms, we are now going to screw the bottom of the brackets into the bottom of the whiskey barrels. Okay, it's time to get these poles vertical. So we are going to be standing these up in the middle of the barrels. So we're gonna be making sure they're level first. So again, I keep saying this, but I really don't want them to be wobbly. And we're just gonna make sure that they're nice and secure. We're going to screw in the brackets to the bottom of the barrel now.
So the first step is we're gonna take our level and make sure that the ground that we dug around earlier on the edge or the corner of this shape, what is the shape again?
Hexagon.
Hexagon, is level. So put that on top of the wood because the wood is way straighter than some of the edging around the barrel, and it looks pretty darn level. So with that done, let's stand her up.
It's standing, yay!
So we only have the 8 total wood screws, and we don't have the
lag screws.
So once we put the lag screws in, there will be 4 total of those, and those are really going to give us an even more solid fortification, we'll call it.
We're gonna do the same thing to the other 5 barrels and posts, and you guys, I love seeing projects come together, and this one already is.
For sure.
I've been
All right, all 6 poles are standing up straight. So now we are going to be weighing down the whole barrels so that even when the wind comes and the snow comes and all of that in the winter, these things will be sturdy. So I went back and forth with several different methods of how I wanted to weigh down the barrels. I could pour concrete and actually create it and let it harden, but that was gonna be too messy and I didn't wanna wait so long. And so I came across this other idea from actually another YouTuber that I just came across called Hacksman, and he was doing this, and what he did was he took concrete blocks and he put those in the barrels of the barrels. And so I decided that that was going to be the way that we were going to go. And the main reason that I like this idea is because if I ever want to do anything else with these barrels, or for instance, when Neiman and I move away from this place, we want to be able to take those. And so since these concrete blocks will be removable, that'll be really easy for us to do. On top of that, we are also saving money by doing this because our landlord, as you guys know, is a landscaper. He owns a huge landscaping business, and so they've always got extra materials. Well, they have a scrap pile of concrete blocks here, so he said it's free for the taking because it's just going to go to the dump anyway. So we are going to go ahead and grab all that we need to weigh down those barrels.
Another thing I wanted to say was not everybody is going to have a landlord that owns a landscaping company. So if that's the case, which I feel that might be the case for a lot of you, feel free to reach out on your Facebook, reach out to peers, but make a post on Facebook looking for people that have broken up concrete in your area. Go to your buy, sell, and trade group, see if anybody has concrete. Go to Craigslist, look for broken up concrete. There is always concrete being broken up, so there's always free concrete out there to be able to utilize this technique.
And even if it's not free, concrete blocks at the store are like $2 each, so pretty cheap way, instead of also if you don't want to pour your own concrete.
Okay, we think we have enough here. We're gonna take it over, check it out.
Let's do it. Okay, we're back for day 2, and we've got the lag screws all sorted out. So basically what we're going to be doing is putting these larger screws into the larger holes. So we had to find a part that goes into our drill that will fit these lag screws. So we ended up with the 7/16. So I'm going to drill holes into each hole, and this is just going to reinforce it that much more because again, these are pretty sturdy, but those smaller screws are pretty small and skinny, so we just wanted something a little bit thicker, and so that's what we're going to do.
Okay, so Laura is back here on the wooden posts, putting in the last and final drills to solidify those poles even more so. And what I'm gonna do is actually come over here, and I am going to correct this exposure, but I have a bigger drill bit that I'm gonna go in each one of the barrels and drill into so that we allow some space and a way for there to be some drainage happening for rain, for snow, and everything like that. Okay, this one might have been a little bit too big, so we're gonna head over to my stone, I don't know what to call it, stone assimilation center, which is just a little bit harder part of the road. I'm throwing it that way. So we need about half of this. So let's give it a whirl. Oh, you know what, actually, even easier. We're gonna do it like the Neanderthals. That didn't work. Because what I need to do smarter, not harder. That'll do, right? No? Another one? Uno más? Should have got this on the slow-mo cam.
Now you're just having fun.
Here we go. Got 6 pieces out of 1.
Now we put the dirt that we had dug out of the middle of the hexagon into each bin. We're not going to fill it completely because we do have topsoil for when we plant the flowers, but most of the way we want to fill in all those gaps.
All right, that does it for filling up the buckets, at least the base layer, right?
Yep, so next is the topsoil. All right, so that's it for the topsoil, and the reason we did that is because we're planning on planting some flowers in there, probably some fall flowers for this type of season, and then in the spring we'll do different types of flowers, maybe even plant some veggies, and even
tomatoes,
too.
maybe?
Even though we've got a whole garden over there, so we'll see about that. But we have lights that we want to hang, and I ordered them on Amazon, and they came yesterday, or at least we thought they came yesterday, but then we ended up getting the wrong delivery, and it wasn't even for us. It's some random thing, black water, that someone else ordered, and it says that their address is down across the street, but we filed a non-received package with Amazon, so they should be here in a couple of days, so we'll be back.
Instead, we got black water. I opened it just to make sure that there wasn't any lights in it, but nope, it's black water, so.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for our lights, and then we'll be able to finish it and get everything hung up and plugged in, and so we'll be back in a couple of days for the final reveal. Look what came. So long story short, we went, left, ran some errands, came back, and these were here at our door. I was telling Neiman that I just had a feeling that they would come anyway because we still should have received them, and they would have been on the truck. I had a feeling, and here they are, so we don't have to wait a couple more days. We are going to get these hung and strung right now. So our first job is actually to drill some pilot holes up in the tops of each pole, just one. And then I got these hooks, these eye hooks that will screw in, and then we'll connect the lights with zip ties at each pole, and we'll be done.
Laura was just about 2 inches short of being able to do this, so I get the duties.
Got these off of Amazon, and this is a 2-pack of 48 feet of lights. So there's going to be 30 lights in total, and then it also came together, so that's good. I believe it'll be the cords and then the lights packaged separately, and then we'll have to install every single light. So our first job will be to string the cords, and then we'll attach the bulbs. Yep, so here are the bulbs, and there's actually 16 of them, so we did get an extra just in case, you know, one doesn't work or goes out or something like that. We'll have a couple of replacements. Okay, so here is the one set of lights, the sockets.
They are
the
commercial
lights.
grade as well.
Yep, commercial grade, outdoor. They're really nice, but honestly, they're really cheap, and I'll link them down below. It was $72 for both packs. So to be honest, that's not a lot. I was looking at the store, Michael's and Menards, things like that, and I believe it was about $17 for a 5-foot strand. So I knew that that wasn't going to cut it, and I knew that I didn't want to spend a fortune, so I took to Amazon, and this is what we came away with.
And the bulbs,
they're pretty.
The Edison bulb type of vibes.
Yep.
We knew immediately that those were the ones we were going to be rolling with.
So what we really want to think about is we want to make sure that we've got obviously the 2 plugs connect so that they connect together, but then also we want where the plug is going to actually plug in, we want that to be close to our shop, because that's where we're actually going to be running the extension cord through, because they don't mow over there. So it's okay if we have a cord. We'll probably flag it and stuff later just to make sure that people know that it's there. And yeah, so other than that, we're about to just go ahead and start attacking this part of the project, and we're gonna hang the lights. This is Neiman's sister's dog, Nipsey. And so we're gonna have him out here with us for a little bit. Neiman's sister and her family are staying with us for a little bit. So we get the joys of having Neiman's new niece living here. We'll pop a picture up. We haven't really talked too much about that, but on top of my twin nephews, Neiman also has a niece now. So she's about a month old.
Babies everywhere.
And we love it.
Lauren told me to trust her, but I knew over here on this backside, you can't really see because it's kind of far away, but maybe from the drone, but there is a super sag basically over on that side, and we need more room to get over to that side. So we are going to cut that wire, stretch that, and then compensate for the remainder of the hexagon, and it should work out.
It's time to make it pretty. So I just got some smaller mums at Lowe's. I got some red and some yellow. So I'm gonna plant some in each barrel here, probably 4 each. And then that'll just really make it look nice. And here in just a little bit, we're gonna have some people coming over for dinner and a fire and things like that. So I gotta get this finished. So that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, got all the flowers planted. So our last step is to attach the extension cord and light this place up. Well, there you have it. Phase 2 of the fire pit is complete and it
Wow.
looks great.
This came together well.
It did, and I'm really pleased with the outcome, and it just really upscaled it that much more, really. It looks finished.
The lights look amazing, great idea with the flowers. It really brought it all together.
Yeah, and I can't wait for those flowers to just keep blooming, very fall-like. And actually we learned that these mums are perennials, which means they'll come back every year. So that's pretty cool.
Save us some money as well.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna have to plant flowers each season, but
yeah.
Let's talk about some numbers real quick. Phase 2 is a little bit more pricey than phase 1, but again, I really think that it all brought it together. So
it was crucial to do phase 2.
Yeah, between the barrels and the posts and the screws and the brackets and all of those things, it came out to be around $450, and then the lights were another $70. So actually you got to add on to that the extension cord is another $20. So, you know, we're pretty far up there, but I
about
think
$600 for phase 2,
yeah,
roughly.
It was right around $600. So $600 plus the $350 from phase 1. We're in at under $1,000 for this beautiful area.
And again, we didn't do comparisons and get professionals to come out and quote us, but I still feel like we saved a major buck doing it ourselves. Plus, it was amazing just to work together. So
yeah, and it's just going to be so awesome to share this space with our family and friends.
There's no doubt about it, and I think it'll make those times even more enjoyable. So
yep, because we did it ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I need to go get some firewood because this thing is getting low.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed our phase 2 of our fire pit build. By the way, if you haven't seen phase 1, be sure to go and check that out if you haven't already. We would love to see you over there. Get subscribed down below, and we'll be back next Thursday with another fun furniture flip. We'll see you on the flip side.